Good morning. As a people, there are a lot of issues and questions that we do not seem to care about enough, especially as they relate to the future of our own country. One of the things we all need to do is to be very honest and talk about one of the big issues confronting our democracy. So when a person, a man or a woman, needs close to $700,000 to try and get into parliament, or at a very high side of $100 million to be president, who exactly are they working for when they get there? Obviously not you. It is not the community that sent them there, but the constituents whose roads are broken and whose hospitals have no beds and whose children are sitting 3 to a desk in schools without roofs. They are working for those who funded them, anyone who provided that money but you. And whoever provided that money did not do so out of patriotism, I should say, mostly. Fellow Ghanaians, the buying and selling of our democracy has gone on long enough that we've started to treat it as a normal feature of our political landscape rather than the crisis that it actually is. We talk about vote buying the way we talk about the weather as something unpleasant that happens regularly and that nobody has the power to stop. We have watched the cost of political participation rise so astronomically that public office has effectively been privatized, reserved for those with deep enough pockets or patrons with deep enough interest, and the ordinary Ghanaian of ability and integrity who cannot raise that amount of money is told by the system that this democracy was not designed with them in mind. Fellow Ghanaians, that is not a democracy our founders envisioned. And it is not the democracy that this country deserves. It is not what will lead us to develop. And that is why today, Joy News and the Joy News Impact Makers Foundation is confronting that reality directly, starting in Tamale, with a nationwide initiative that is called Democracy Not for Sale. It is a citizen and politician dialogue, a very important, frank, necessary conversation about the growing influence of money in our politics, the surge in vote buying, the illicit financing that is quietly shaping who wins election and who those winners answer to once they do. The forum, as we know today, will be held at the Nat Hall, 4 p.m. today, live on Joy News, Joy FM, all our affiliates across the country. Fellow Ghanaians, and Tamale is the right place to begin this conversation because, as a lot of you know, the northern region has given this country leaders of extraordinary vision and courage. And the people of the North, like people everywhere in Ghana, deserve a democracy in which their vote is a genuine exercise of civic power and not a transaction that is completed of a bag of rice or a 20 cedi note the night before the election. What vote buying does at its most fundamental level is that it converts the most sacred act in a democracy into a commercial exchange. And it tells the voter that their judgment and their values and the things that matter to them, the assessment of who should lead them, matters quite less than their immediate financial need. It is an insult. It is not generosity. And we've been accepting that insult for far too long. Fellow Ghanaians, the time has come to put that beside. The work that begins today in Tamale will not fix everything overnight. It demands a conversation that must start somewhere. And that is what we are doing. It must start very seriously and honestly. And as always in this building at Joy News, we are committed to taking it to every corner of this country because this is not a northern problem or a southern problem or a problem that belongs to any one community or any one political party. It is Ghana's problem, and this country must solve it together. Our democracy is not for sale. And so we'd expect you to be part of this conversation today. Join in on all our platforms, listen in and share your views. At the end of the day, we all need to come together and send a very loud message that democracy is not for sale. It's not just the politicians who are buying it. Because if you are buying something, then there's a market that is selling that thing to you. And people are demanding money and other things as of rights to be able to engage in election. We know, we've done it severally on this segment, what vote buying has done to internal party democracy, delegate system. We saw what happened in Ayawaso East. TVs, even X and Pepe were inducement. And so today, democracy is not for sale. We have this shared. And hopefully, we can drive the conversation to where it matters most. Good morning, fellow Ghanaians.